Hey friends, my name is Reyna and welcome to a skill builder class. For this type of class, we're focusing on one posture and building the technique around that posture to make it really comfortable, to make it strong, and to just refine it a little bit if you already feel pretty good in it. And so for today's skill builder, we'll be looking at downward facing dog. So to start, come to the top middle-ish area of your mat, feet about hips distance apart, and give your body a little shake. You can twist a little bit, just loosening things up here. Do a couple little leg lifts, shake your hands out. And then once you feel appropriately shaken up and shaken out, bend your knees, sit your booty back, and find your space here, bringing your hands to your hips to start, and then arch and round your back. So sticking your booty way out and then curling your body forward, bringing your chin to your chest and just seeing how this feels. Good, and come on up, release, shake your legs out. And then bend your knees once again, sit your hips down. Bring your hands to your hips, move your hips back, move them forth. And as you arrive here, I want you to find a little bit more of a middle ground. And so nothing totally curled under, nothing completely stuck out, but somewhere just kind of neutral feeling. Extend your arms out and overhead. And now if you're familiar with yoga asana, you may be like, this is chair pose. But if you were to flex your wrists, press your palms towards the sky, this shape kind of looks like downward facing dog. So holding here for 3, 2, take an inhale, keep your arms extended, keep your spine just how it is, and as you exhale, straighten your legs. Good, inhale, bend, exhale, straighten. One more, inhale, bend, exhale, straighten. Good, keep your legs straight, bring your hands to your hips, and start to fold forward. And now your legs may naturally bend here, and that's great. Give your body the space it needs. And so if you feel like your belly is crashing into your thighs in a really kind of restrictive way here, take a moment, widen your stance, bend your knees, wiggle yourself a little side to side, and give your belly space to move a little bit more through your thighs. Release your arms down, and maybe hands rest on your legs, your knees, or maybe they come to the earth. Just holding here in this forward fold for 3, for 2, and 1. Very slowly, start to roll yourself up to standing to a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Reach your arms out ahead of you, make some fists, and start to rev your little motorcycle, giving our wrists some attention as we'll be on our hands very shortly. Keep your fists, flip your inner forearm towards the sky, and just reverse that motion. So kind of like a reverse boxing, reverse rev, whatever you want to call it. Good, release your fists, give your hands a little shake and make some circles. Beautiful, interlace your fingers, bring them in front of your heart, then ride the roller coaster. And reverse. And release. With an inhale, take your arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees enough to be able to plant your hands. Widen your stance enough to be able to plant your hands, and step back into tabletop, lowering your knees to the earth. So taking a moment here, we're just going to take a few kind of rough start measurements. Now these are not a perfect science, but I do feel like it's helpful just to get to know, helpful in you getting to know like your body, kind of your distances, and it gives you a place to start. So to begin, come up onto your knees, take your 2 fists, put them together, and then just slide them in between your knees. And that's roughly about hips distance. Is it perfect? No. Does it give you a place to start? Yes. So slide them out, Hips distance maybe a little bit wider, especially if you have a bigger belly and a bigger chest. And then hands come back to the earth. Spin your fingers in towards each other and walk them in until your middle fingertips are just barely touching. And that is about shoulder distance. Again, is it perfect? No. Does it give us a place to start? Yes. So turn your hands back out. And from here, I want you to turn them out a little bit extra. And so when I say turning your hands out a little extra, I just mean turning them slightly outwards so that you have this kind of L shape in your index finger and thumb here that's pointing more towards the top of the mat, like straight ahead, as opposed to slightly towards the middle of it. So a little turn out, and then press a little extra weight into the inner line, that L shape of your hand. Take a little grip of the earth. Good. And so we're pressing into that inner line. And now I want you to try to wrap your triceps under your body, biceps forward. And so if your elbows are facing out and you feel like you're kind of dropping in between your arms, press into the ground, lift your heart up, and then wrap your triceps under your body. Good. And so this is the shape we want for tabletop. This is the shape we want for plank. And this is the shape we want in our arms for downward facing dog. And so from here, take a moment, step your feet back, all the way back into plank pose. Good. Finding your plank, keeping your arms nice and strong. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press yourself back into downward facing dog. And now take a moment here. If you feel overextended, like everything just feels a little unstable, try stepping your feet in a little bit. If you feel like your belly is crashing into your thighs, try widening your stance. And if you feel like a lot of weight is sitting over your hands, like if you're feeling pressure in your wrists or shoulders, try bending your knees and then take a nice big push of your hands, sending your booty back a little bit further. And so if you feel yourself forward, if you're looking down and you can see your thumbs and your hands, you may be too far forward. So press yourself back. Don't walk your hands back. Keep your hands right where they are, but press your body back. And here we're in our downward facing dog. So take an inhale. Exhale, settle in a little bit more. Good. Inhale, move forward into your plank. Exhale, move back. Downward facing dog. Good. One more like that. So inhale, move forward. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Good. This time, inhale forward. Exhale, lower your knees, tabletop. You can either sit back onto your shins or you can sit up onto your knees. Give your hands a little bit of a break, your wrists a little of a break. Roll through the hands. You can flick them. Anything we did in the beginning, or simply just shake them out. Shake your arms out. Good. And coming back into our tabletop. Reset. So a little bit faster now. Turn your hands out. Press into the inner line. Grip the earth. Wrap your triceps under your body, biceps forward. Building from here, gently lift your belly away from the earth. Feel your core turn on just a little bit. And as if you were wearing a corset, I want you just to imagine that your sides are sucking in towards the midline of your body, lifting the sides of your body. A gentle, gentle, gentle squeeze of your spine with your shoulder blades. And then go the opposite way. Pull your shoulder blades apart. And now find a little bit of middle ground here. So somewhere in between pulling together and pushing apart. A nice active upper back. Core is firing maybe 10-20%. Take an inhale. Stay right here, exhale. Good. This time as you inhale, drop your belly towards the earth. Find cow pose. Really arch your back. Tuck your toes, and as you exhale, start to press your hips towards your heels. When you've gone as far as you can, keeping your heart lifted, lift your knees And send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And we'll move that through that a few more times so you can really kind of smooth it out and see how it feels. So roll forward, lower your knees to the earth. Take an inhale, find cow pose. As you exhale, sit the hips really far back and then lift, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, knees down. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, hips back as far as they can without rounding the back. And then up, downward facing dog. Good, 2 more. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, knees down. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, hips back and into down dog. Last one. Inhale, forward. Exhale, knees down. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, hips back and downward facing dog. Taking 5 rounds of breath here. Readjusting, maybe pedaling the feet out, maybe widening the stance, bending the knees. And there's a lot of information here. And if you don't feel like you're integrating it all right now, that's totally normal. It's totally okay. We're exploring the shape, exploring different ways to get here so that you can practice and choose what pieces I'm offering feel good for you. So take 1 more round of breath here. Roll forward, lower your knees, and then sit your hips either back onto your heels or come up onto your knees. Give your hands a little bit of a break. And so just to reiterate what I just said, I'm offering a lot of different things because there is no one way for everybody. And so what I'm inviting you to do is try all these things and then choose the pieces that help give you a strong, stable, downward facing dog that feels good to be in. Not necessarily restful, it's not a rest pose, but that feels good and comfortable for you. Good, come back on to your hands and knees, tabletop. And then set your hands up, a little turn out, a little press into the thumb and index. Grip the earth, wrap the triceps under. Lift your core, lift the sides of the body. Turn your upper back on. Take an inhale, find cow pose. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. And lastly, take a moment here, shift your gaze back towards your feet. Now, if your heels are touching the ground, that's totally fine. If they're not touching the ground, also totally fine. Just take kind of stock of how you're feeling, and regardless of where your heels are, I want you to look at that crease where your ankle meets the top of your foot and try to smooth it out by lifting your heels up. And as you lift your heels up, bend your knees. Really deep bend in the knees. Heels are lifted here. This is just a different kind of downward facing dog. Again, offering, see how it feels. So bending the knees, pressing the earth away. Maybe belly is really pressing into your thighs here. Trying to smooth that crease. And with an inhale, rise all the way up onto your toes. Exhale, try to lower your heels towards the earth. Good, one more inhale, rise up. Exhale, heels lower. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, knees down. So sit your hips to either side and just come onto your bottom. Find a comfortable seat, crisscross, legs out. Give your hands a little bit of a shake again. Good. With an inhale, take your arms overhead. Exhale, drop your right hand to the earth, left arm extends, side bending here for 3. Anchor your left hip down for 2. And 1, with an inhale, press up, both arms extend. Exhale, left hand drops, right arm reaches. Anchor your right hip down for 3. For 2. And 1, with an inhale, press up. And exhale, fold forward. And your fold can be big, it can be little. I only ask is that's yours. You can let your chin drop towards your chest. Just letting this information kind of settle into your body. I'm just taking stock in maybe a new way of learning. Instead of a pose breakdown or a step-by-step breakdown of something, we tried some things without a ton of explanation, without a ton of here's why, here's how. We just tried some things. Seeing how it feels in your body, and then again, taking those pieces, putting them together, trying them out in your practice, in your classes, and seeing what works. And slowly just roll up. Rest your hands either on the earth or in your lap. Thank you all for taking a little time to explore downward facing dog with me. I hope that you found some interesting things in this video, and if you have any questions about posture or any other postures you'd like to do an exploration of, let me know in the comments below. So thank you again for being here, and I will see you next time we're on the mat together.